The art of screen printing.
Hey everybody, this is Lon and Cory Gray with Graphic Elephants. How are you, Cory?
I'm great.
This is the art of screen printing presented by GSG. We've been working on our template and we're going to add another permanent accessory or tool. We call it Grayscale. We're going to run from 1% all the way to 90% with steps in between. And basically this is a tool we're going to use to determine full exposure and developing in the sync after exposure, so we can see what we're holding on the bottom end open and what's fallen off on the top end with any of our halftone images. This goes on every single screen that we make, just so we can keep track of anything that's underexposed or overexposed, or perhaps we've got too fine a detail in areas and we can correct that. Cory, can you show us how we do that?
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm going to go up here in between our registration marks, and I'm going to show, we actually have a little template there. So now you can kind of see how our bars end up looking. But let's talk about how we construct that. Just like before, we mentioned how things need to be filled a registration color. So that way this bar ends up being on every plate that you output. So looking at my color palette, it shows me that I'm in a registration fill, stroke. And go over to your shape tools, and you're going to grab your rectangle tool. And basically, we're just going to click and drag a rectangle. And then go ahead and deselect. And then you can duplicate these boxes very easily by clicking on it once, and then holding your Option key down makes a copy, and it should lock right into the next edge over here. And then if you go and do Command D, your duplicate, it will continue to make, as long as you keep hitting that button, it'll stop, and it'll stop when you do. So now we have all of our squares for our grayscale bar here, and then now we're going to fill it with the registration color as well. So let's make a selection of all of these squares. Go down here to your fill and stroke palette. You can see that I already have the stroke filled. Go ahead and click on your fill so that your stroke still stays in the registration color. And then you're going to fill the registration color as well. Now it's just a big solid black mass. What we're going to do is we're going to click on each square individually, and we're going to reduce the tone, which this is allowed in your color palette here. You can see there's a lever right above the color from 100 all the way down to 0. Or you can type in the increment that you want. In this case, it's going to be 1. So let's go ahead and click on the next one and make it 2. And there we go, 3. 4, and 5, and then we're going to start with increments of 10s. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Then using your type tool, this is where you would basically click and go ahead and all of your numbers across the top. For our purposes, I'm just basically going to paste it right in place. And there you can see that we have over our numbers. And then when you output, you will have this bar on every plate. There you go.
Cory, tune in next time when we'll add our final addition to our template, which will be the specs, and we can get into some of the sexy creative parts. I'm Lon, he's Cory, and we are Graphic Elephants, and this has been the art of screen printing presented by GSG. See you next time.